Hey everybody, welcome to Garden Time with Belle. Well, gardening isn't only about planting beautiful things for your garden. Gardening requires maintenance to keep those beautiful things going, and different parts of your yard might require different things. Those of you that have followed my channel know that Mondays are, for me, maintenance day and make a plan day. So here we are on a Monday and I need to do some maintenance. So in today's video, I am going to show you how I like to maintain our bird bath slash fountain. And let me tell you just a little bit about this before we get into what I do to maintain this. If you're like me and you want a fountain in your garden, but either your budget's not going to allow it because concrete fountains can be pricey, and if you're like me, you want a water feature and a fountain movement of water, but you don't want to trench an electrical line because wherever your fountain is, or in this case, it's a bird bath, it's far from the front of our house. And we just weren't willing to dig a trench so that we could run electrical here to run a pump to create some movement, some water movement. So today I'm going to show you how you can turn a simple bird bath into a fountain. So before we get to the process of me showing you how I have this set up and actually doing the maintenance, which is cleaning this today, I'm going to ask everybody to please like and subscribe to my channel. If you're already a subscriber, thank you so much for supporting my channel. And if you're new, I'm glad you found me. Welcome to Garden Time with Belle. All right, so I'm going to grab the camera so that I can bring it in nice and close and show you the features of my bird bath slash fountain, and then I'll get to cleaning, and then we'll get to setting it up so that it's going to attract more and more birds and be a lovely place for me to look at from my front porch. Okay, so let me show you my little setup. So of course, here we have a bird bath. This bird bath is made of concrete. Concrete is a really important choice for my garden. Say that 3 times, because where we live out here in the country on 10 acres, we get big winds that just go blasting through our property. And if I put a resin style bird bath out here, it would be, a half an acre away. It would just blow with the wind. And so we invested in a heavy duty concrete. But you can find resin bird baths and fountains materials at some big box stores. And I think those are perfectly fine too. You want to position those closer to your home or somewhere where they're protected from wind, because they'll just blow right over. Okay, so we have our concrete bird bath, but as you know, I wanted a fountain and I couldn't afford a fountain, and also we didn't want to run electrical to this. So we invested very inexpensively in a solar powered little bubbler. And let me just tell you about this. This is our third one. I went through 2 different solar powered little fountain bubblers, and the first 2 that I bought were the kind that just sort of float around in your fountain, and they would work for a week or 2 and then stop working. I don't understand why. So anyhow, this one is different. My husband found this, and I will try to find a link. I think we got it on Amazon. I'll put a link in the description below if anyone's interested in this exact kind, because this one has worked great for us. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually grab the camera and come in really close so I can show the details of the little fountain bubbler, so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay, so here we are. I want to get the camera close for you all. So here is the bird bath and here's the bubbler. So let me show you the solar powered fountain bubbler. So here it is. You set this right in the middle, and then there is a wire that comes up and over the edge of our bird bath and down to the solar panel. So you can set your solar panel wherever you want to pick up the most sun. And so if I place it right there directly where kind of the sun is at this moment, you see the reflection, and I come up here, it's going to pump a lot better. Although today is Monday maintenance day, and so it'll pump even better when we're done, because I've got to clean out the filter. Let me show you that feature. So if we turn this over, do you see there's the little pump? and filter, and ugh, it's kind of gross. It's all gunked up. So I'm going to be cleaning that out today and showing you how to do that. And the other feature you probably see, you see this? That is a piece of copper, real copper. And copper, chemistry-wise, will prevent algae growth. And I've been using copper in my bird bath for years, and I don't have an algae problem. So I never ever put chemicals in here. I don't need to. The copper does the job. And the water movement by putting a bubbler in your bird baths does two things. Number one, it attracts birds. They love to see the moving water. And secondly, you don't get any mosquito larvae in there, so we never ever have had a mosquito problem. All right, so I think I'm going to move the camera around and we're going to get to cleaning out my bird bath slash fountain. Okay, it is time to get to maintaining my bird bath slash fountain. Let me show you what I'm going to need for this very simple cleaning project. I've got some rubber gloves here. I've got a toothbrush. I have a nice big heavy duty hard bristled scrub brush. Got a little bucket here. I've got some water and I have vinegar. All you need is some clear vinegar and water, and it is going to make it look so much better and clean out a lot of the gunk. So that's all there is to it. All right, first step, I need to get the pump out of here. I need to get my copper wire out. So I'm going to take that out and toss that on the ground. And then I need to take the pump out. Here's the deal though. I'm going to go down. You might not be able to see it because I'll be behind the fountain. But I'm going to turn that solar panel that's catching the energy to power this pump. I want to make sure that it's turned off. So the way that I turn it off is I'm just going to take the solar panel and I'm going to turn it face down so it's not picking up any energy from the sun. You never want to have your pump out of the water with the solar panel running because you'll burn up your pump. You never want to let your bird bath slash fountain get empty while this is running, because if there is no water to move through there and you've got the solar panel picking up energy, you'll burn out your pump. So, all right, so I am going to take this out. Let me think here for a minute. Actually, yeah, I'm going to take this out and put it on the ground. And then we're going to simply clean this out. So one of the first things I like to do is I just need to empty out most of the water. And that's what I've got. This is just one of my little vases that I collect my cut flowers in. So let me just do that. This is boring, you don't need to see, but I'm going to take out most all of the water. So it's not horrible, but definitely I can feel it with my gloves. The bottom is a little slimy. And so that's what we're going to clean up. And of course, you know, birds love this beautiful fountain, and that's the reason why we have it out here. So there's some bird droppings that I need to clean off. So here's what I do. I just take some white vinegar that's absolutely safe for birds and all kinds of wildlife, and it's safe for humans, nice and natural. I'm going to pour that in. I'm going to grab my scrub brush, my big one, and I am just going to give it a good scrub. All right, so do you see the difference? Look at my brush. Do you see how dark and brown it is? Because I've been pretty successful in getting a lot of that slimy gunk off the sides and the base. And so now I need to come in with some fresh water. So I just brought a watering can out here and give it a little rinse and then try to remove most of that water. Then we'll get to cleaning the pump. So I hope the camera's picking it up. You all should be able to see a color change already from where it started. So you know what? That's pretty good. So let's work on the pump. So I'm going to put the pump back up. And this is where we're going to need our little toothbrush. And I think what I'll do here is I'll put a little vinegar in this little vase. Splash of vinegar. Add some water. And we're going to use this solution to clean up the pump. And the pump again is pretty slimy, and actually I could put the whole pump down there and let it soak, but I don't know that I'm going to need to do that. So I'm going to just swish it around for a little bit so I know that I get it nicely coated. And then I'm going to come in with my toothbrush and I'm going to clean the gunk off the surface. Oh yeah, look at that. Oh yeah. Now you want to wear something old, not your nice clothes, because I don't know, you're probably neater than I am, but I'm not the neatest person when it comes to cleaning things. And this is flinging, see my gloves? Some of that black gunky stuff. Might even come in here. I don't want to be too rough with this because honestly, I don't want to mess up the pump. Oh, hello, cicadas. Can you all hear that? Wow, wow, wow. You're having a good morning. Yeah, so I'm just gonna work on this part and then I'll show you the pump, which is super important to keep clean. So now that I've got the majority of this cleaned off, and you know, it doesn't have to be perfect because this is not picking up any solar power. The solar power panel, you know, is separate from this. The old ones that I bought that never worked very well is the solar panels on those are right here by the pump. Okay, so let's see. That's really yucky. So I'm going to just dump that. Again, I can dump it right in the grass because it's diluted vinegar. It'll be fine. And let's give a little fresher water. And all right, well, let me show you the pump. So here's the pump on the bottom, and this is the filter area, and it has this little filter. Let me see. It's going to be really hard to see everybody, but I wish the filter that you can remove was over here, but it's not. So it's kind of hard to get to. Usually we keep hemostats out here, believe it or not, so that we can just yank it out easily. So I'm going to try. Oh boy, I just shoved it back down. All right. I'm going to have to get my fingers gross and dirty, but it's worth it because otherwise I'm not going to be able to get this filter out without a little doing. So if you don't have hemostats, you know, whatchamacallit, tweezers would work great. Okay, so let me show you. Do you see how that's all gunked up? It's got a lot of stuff in this little filter. So I'm going to just let that sit in the water. And now I'm going to take the toothbrush and I want to clean out anywhere you see right here these little entry points, because this is the water gets sucked up in here and pops up out of the top. So let me scrub this a little bit and then we'll clean that filter and put it back in, and we'll almost be finished with this maintenance job on this Monday in the garden. Okay, so you see here on the little filter that pops in and out, it is clean of all the debris. I've cleaned all the entry points for the pump. I'm going to get rid of this water and I'm going to simply reinsert this. And again, it's going to be really hard to show you all, but it's simply, I just pop it down into this little area. So as the water draws up from the fountain, goes through these vents, any heavy debris, big debris gets caught in the filter versus getting caught and clogging up your fountain. All right, so that is it. That's all there is to it. So I'm going to add fresh water next. and wash my hands for sure, and then I'll back up the camera and let you see it working properly. Well, that was a super easy project. So the bird bath is clean, the pump is clean, the filter's clean, so I just need to put it back together and get some water in here. All right, let's get the copper wire back in. Remember, copper, don't ask me the chemistry, but copper in fountains and bird baths will eliminate algae growth, or at least make it very, very little. And I hardly had any bad algae growth, never have. So copper is my secret. I'm going to wind the pump wire around this ring so that it doesn't move all around the fountain, because it'll float. And here's why I choose to do that. We live out in the country, as you know. We have lots of wind, and if the fountain moves towards the edges of the bird bath, not so much with this attachment, you know, it's just a little bubbler, but this comes with all kinds of fun attachments. So you can have fountains, a whole variety of options for you. I choose to use this because if I use the fountain attachment, it's shooting up about this high. And what happens is when the wind hits it, the water is going out of the bird bath and onto the ground. Now, I don't mind it going out of the ground, except for the fact that if this blows over and all the water is going out, it's going to drain my bird bath. Then it's going to leave this dry and this pump exposed to no water. And if this pump is running and there's no water for it to use, you'll burn out your pump. So that's sort of my thinking. That's why I like to do it that way. Okay, so we've got it in place. All I need to do is add water, and then I'm going to move that little solar panel so that it's facing south so it can start picking up the sun and getting things going. And the birds are going to be so glad that I'm done with this and out of their way so they can come back, because they're here all day long. And this is a 2-gallon watering can. I could have gone a little higher, but that's what I've got. So that is going to be good. All right. So let me reposition. Remember, see the solar? Oh, look at that. Okay. So see the difference from a clean filter and a clogged up filter. That's the difference right there. So yeah, it's been a minute since I cleaned the filter. A minute ago, I was aiming the solar panel directly at the sun, which is right there. But this is a southern exposure. So as the sun moves through the sky, of course, it'll hit the solar panel differently, and it'll either increase that fountain bubbler or decrease it. And of course, on a cloudy day, it's not going to do anything. I'm pretty happy, and I think my birds are going to be even happier. Those of you that follow my channel have seen our front porch, and so here is a spot where we enjoy our morning coffee, oftentimes, especially in the summer, because this vantage point, I'm just going to sit down in my chair so that you can see, this faces west. So it's shaded right now. I don't know, it's mid-morning. So it stays shaded quite a while, and it's just an amazing, peaceful place to start your day. And there it is. Now do you know why? Because it's so far away from any electrical, we didn't want to dig a trench for an electrical pump for a big fountain. And so this is our hack for now. The last thing I want to do actually is get up out of that comfy chair and take you in a little closer so you can see the final result. This is a spot in my garden that I haven't shared a lot because there are not lots of plantings, although we have an enormously gorgeous red maple that is a stunner in the fall. And this actually represents a rock garden that we created in tribute and memory of my son, my late son, Christopher. It is just a peaceful place to rest, to look, and to remember lots and lots of time with our son and his brother. Don't tell the Park Service, but a lot of these rocks that you'll see in the rock garden are rocks that we collected as a family on our many, many trips to national parks. Some of our favorite trips were to Yellowstone, Glacier National Park. We just love Wyoming and Montana. And so anyhow, Each of these rocks has a special memory, as well as not just from travels, but Grandma and Grandpa's farms. We've collected them over the years and some other special places. So here's my cleaned up bird bath slash fountain bubbling away, and so grateful to have that maintenance done. And I'm sure pretty soon, if I go sit back down, let me pan around here to the front porch. If I go sit back down over there, the birds are going to be happy, and maybe I'll be able to capture them coming in for a little drink or a little bath.